E-daters, man. It's like a plague you can't escape from. And I think the biggest perpetrator to blame is COVID. During COVID, the amount of E-daters skyrocketed. The ease of access to the internet, a bunch of people being trapped inside, lonely, no one to talk to, no friends, or sometimes maybe even bad relationships with your family. A lot of people went to video games, and on these video games, they had a lot of, what's the word? It's kind of a lot of baggage. Let's call it that. And so they began running rampant. I don't know, man. English is a hard language. One of my biggest problems with E-daters, though, is the dependence on E-dating. I feel like once you go down that path, there's no coming back from it. You become dependent on the internet in a sense. So say you're a person who never really dated anybody, or you've had 1 or 2 relationships, maybe one of them was bad. COVID happens, you go online, find somebody on League of Legends, Valorant, Overwatch, Fortnite, whatever. Start talking, everything. Start playing more, doing more, messaging each other, get each other's Discord, maybe get each other's phone number. And then things start getting a little flirty. Flirting keeps going back and forth and back and forth. And eventually, before you know it, you're in an E-relationship. But the craziest part to me is I have a few friends that are repeat offenders with E-dating, and every single one of them with every single girl, there's always depression running around. It just runs rampant in E-relationships. I don't get it. Maybe it's just the demographic of people that are willing to do it, but it becomes this thing where it's like one person trauma dumps or their life isn't all too great, and then the other party in the relationship has to end up dealing with it, and then it just sucks and it's hard. The other person starts suffering, then you have this whole cesspool of suffering going around. Nobody likes to suffer. It's like, just go next, man. Why are you here? To summarize for you guys how these relationships normally go, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're just chilling on the prairie with your family back in the early 1600s, right? You finally build a cottage out in the woods, having a good time. Life seems good. You're trading with the locals. You're catching fish. They have wood. You're upgrading the house. You have a duplex out on the prairie. And then one day an atomic bomb gets dropped out of the sky. It makes no sense. It's one of those things where it's just doomed to end. The chances of it working out are so slim. You're also bound to encounter more bad than good with it. So it's like you keep doing it over and over and over again. And you're expecting different results, which, guess what? That's the definition of insanity, bro. How many times does somebody have to be in a failed E-relationship to realize that they just need to stop? Even now, I only feel like it's getting worse post-COVID. And in fact, here's a story from one of my friends who his first and last time E-dating. He just got out of a pretty toxic relationship. She'll come back up eventually again, but that's another story for another day. Anywho, he played this game called Wizard 101. Most of you are familiar with it. You're a wizard, you pick a class, you go around collecting spells and whatnot, dripping out your character. He met this girl on there a while ago. It was a few years in advance. They had known each other for a few years on this game. Nothing had ever really spawned from it because he had never E-dated. He wasn't trying to find love on a video game, but he just got out of a toxic relationship. So I think he was feeling a little bit more vulnerable than normal. And I swear women can sense that. Anyways, they start talking and flirting more. And over the course of time, they start dating. Now, when me and all my friends find out, our first reaction is, why? What do you gain from this? We told him, fine, that's cool. Just have your fun, whatever. A month or two had gone by. It's summer now. We're in the pool at his house. So I'm sitting there chilling. He's floating around, having a good time. He drops a little small grenade on us. He says, we're going to move in together. She's going to come down here once I take over the house. I sat down, I thought about it and everything. We're just going to move in together and start a life. You know, all of us still trying to remember. Sensitive time for him. Wouldn't it make more sense for you to meet her first before you do that? The moving in thing is fine. I guess that's a step that'll come eventually. Definitely way too early to do it. We get you've known her for a few years now, so you know her as a person before you started E-dating, but you've never actually met this person in person before, right? You might know what they look like, but you don't know their habits and if they're someone you would want to live with. He took what we were saying and absorbed it. Still didn't change his mind, but he did plan a trip to go see her beforehand. 2 or 3 times he had gone and seen her, and then she finally ended up coming down here months later. Definitely his type. Story goes on. So the move-in plan was still live. He was talking to us about it, and he was like, Actually, it looks like she's gonna delay it a little bit because the move-in date was getting pretty close. We were at the start of the year. She was gonna move in the summer coming up. Flash forward about 2 months later after she had come down. My friend had just gotten out of a really long relationship, right? And we were all going to be there for him. We decided to go out. Let's go out. Let's try to take your mind off of it. Have a good time. And then you can go home and cry and contemplate the rope and the noose. So we go out to a bar. We're having a good time. Big homie E-dater over here. The girlfriend is on his ass in text messages and telling him, why did you actually go out? Because you see, what happened was he was going to go entertain his relationship on Wizard 101 that night. They had already made plans, but he explained to her that, hey, my friend just got out of a long relationship. I want to be there for him tonight. She's like, sure, go hang out with your friend. And then she got mad that he went to go hang out with his friend. If it doesn't make sense, it's not supposed to. So we're sitting there. So why is she mad? You're not even completely flaking on her. You're just coming out with us and then going back home to her. We're not going to hold you hostage. We're still going to hang out afterwards. But once we're done here, she knows you're going home. And then they had a whole little argument, I think. Don't remember. Wasn't really paying too much attention that night. I was more focused on the friend I was there for. But that ends. We're wrapping up. We all decided to go home. We didn't end up doing anything after. However, me and E-daitng Commander-in-Chief dropping me back off home. I was like, man, we haven't hung out in a while, bro. And he was like, man, I really want to do that, but she's gonna want to do games and everything. I was like, y'all can still go and play games. I'll just be there like the good old days, man. I bring my PS5. We'll have a good time. When y'all are done, we'll hang out. He was like, man, that sounds really cool. But there's one small problem here. His girlfriend had his location. She didn't live in the state, of course, right? You know, E-daters and all. But she knew where his house was. I would like to think she knew where a few of us lived based on her being weird and stalking him. So he sees her not going towards home, which is crazy, by the way, to know an area well enough from stalking somebody. That's the only way you would know that, right? You say I put up my address right now on the screen and then I drew lines on that map. There's no way you would know I'm on my way home or not unless you knew the area. And the only way you could know the area if you don't live somewhere, if you sit there and stare at the map all day. Anyways, so he's on the way to drop me off and his girlfriend calls him. And it's like, why aren't you on your way home? And he's like, well, I'm dropping my friend off. I picked him up. I'm dropping him back off. And then I'll be back home. We can hop on. She's like, cool. I'm going to stay on the phone with you while you do that. What? Oh, hell no! I'm sitting there in the passenger seat. Oh, there is no fucking way. This is after he had already agreed to me coming over and everything. He mutes her on the phone and is like, all right, bro, look, we're going to get there. She's going to see that we're here. I'm going to unmute the phone when we get there. You're going to get out the car, dap me up, and then slam the door really loud so she hears it. And then run upstairs, get your stuff, come back down, and then we'll head out. And I was like, all right, so we get to my place. We execute the plan. He's like, all right, man, catch you later. Dap each other up, slam the car door, and then go upstairs, grab my stuff, come back down. He also told her he was going to, I think, go to the bathroom while he was there. So since she's sitting there stalking him in live time, she would see the car not moving or his location. So he was like, I'll say I'm going upstairs to pee. So we did that, executed perfectly, get back in the car. We get back to his house, midnight or 1 a.m. She's been nagging him for 3 hours to come home and hang out. Finally gets back. Cool, y'all put my headset on. Y'all can have your cringe conversation. I'm not going to hear anything. Hop on my game, plug in the PS5, all's well. Tell me why I'm not even 10 minutes into my game.
This game is fucking dog shit.
And bro's staring at me. And I'm like, what's going on, man? Hey, how's your little E-date going? She fell asleep. She sat here and nagged him on the phone through text and stalked him for 3 hours to come home so they can hang out, for her to fall asleep within 10 minutes of us getting home. I have no words. I'm just going to move on to the next part. Good news is they ended up breaking up and he realized it wasn't going to work out for a multitude of reasons, half of which we brought up. As far as we know, he's never looked back and he's also been single since then. For now, let's hear from a more experienced professional on the matter of e-dating. You're somewhat of an expert, I believe, on e-dating. Go ahead and tell me some of the downsides of e-dating. For the people, right? So, say I was making a YouTube video and I needed a professional's opinion.
Fucking get you suicidal and depressed from dating 5 chicks, especially whether it's Final Fantasy or Discord. Here's how it goes. It's probably going to be some girl that's super introverted or gives you the rundown of, I vibe with you because either A, you treat me right, or B, there's something that others don't see that you see, or so forth and so forth. And then you start flirting each other back and you start having this vibe of maybe there's a thing that's happening. And then sometimes there is a thing that's truly happening, or maybe you're one of those people that you're just being led on. But let's assume that you're not being led on and there is something happening. So obviously it's a matter of who's gonna break first when it comes to, like, I don't know, saying their feelings. And let's say you're the one that breaks it, right? Now you have a 50-50 of whether they like you or you get blocked and ghosted. And let's assume you get past that point. Well, then you start dating. You start doing duos. You start fucking Discord sleep calling 25/8. You start fucking giving down the rundown of being woo and typical I miss you and I want to see you, right? And they probably would say the same thing. You guys would probably give each other gifts, little small gifts, or they'll buy me a game or I'll buy them a game. The last girlfriend that I dated or E-dated, they wanted Animal Crossing, so guess what? I got them Animal Crossing, e-girl shit, and it feels great for like first, I don't know, 3 months. But then one of you guys, maybe it's the guy that's more passionate than the other, would probably be like, I want more. I want to see you. A pretty normal human response. And then you get that 1% chance where it's like, I want to see you too, and it actually falls through. Or you get the 99% chance of, oh, I can't because I've never been in a situation like this before, or this is my first time, or I don't know, I haven't thought of anything because I'm not ready, or whatever the following A, B, C, D, F, G problem is, because they got anxiety, or this is their first time, or I have traumatic problems of whatever. You just don't want to meet the person due to the fact that you never touched the fucking grass. That's what it is. It really does happen. Or you could be the other guy where you're always a yes ma'am and you're content with living the digital dating life and not ever seeing the other person's face and staying on the digital world while you're dry humping your monitor or texting or fucking phone texting and whatnot and saying, you like that type shit, right? I'm playing Valorant and I bought her this $500 skin. Maybe I might get a nude pic here and there. Like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do with a nude pic? You're gonna jack off to that and then splurge all your phone? Like, they don't see you. Your charisma's off your voice. You literally can just tone down your voice and then they're gonna be like, ooh, I like that, because they don't see your face. No, I got better things to do in my life in a sense of GG, hit next and do something else. So that's my take. I've physically dated 2 people. One from high school that I kept secret from everyone, and of course, the most recent one. And of those 2, compared to the 5 I've dated in E-dating, the 2 were just so much better. I'm never gonna get back.
It's just gone.
So I learned my lesson. I've done it numerous times, and I will say it's a good coping at the start, by all means, but I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't recommend it.
Heard it here first, folks. You've heard a testimonial from a repeat offender of E-dating. It's just not good for you. If you're suffering with problems such as anxiety or confidence, that's fine. But that is something you have to work on. I don't think you can function as a human in society without being able to go out and talk to people in social events. It's one of those things you just can't avoid. So it's better to just work on it now. Using the internet isn't a bad way to do it, but don't become too dependent on it. I feel like that's where the problem stems from. It's where you just get stuck in this loop. You really just don't have any actual social skills. You go out to these events, or even if you go to hang out with your family, you're out in public settings and you're just petrified. Just try talking to people. It's no different from online. It's just face to face. In conclusion, don't E-date. Don't let me catch you E-dating. I'll be there. I will find you, I will prosecute you, and I will give you life in prison. But anyways, here's some more Young Dak. Catch y'all on the next video, whenever that one comes out. Haven't decided yet.
You and me, the two complete. We rode the streets. I've been trying to get up on your vibe for a while now. I've been trying to get your ass smile for a while now. Why won't you let me be yours? I can reassure you'll be secure. We got all the time in the world, and I wanna spend it with you. Why do you make me confused? Why can't you text me like out of the blue? Only hit me up when you need something. Guiding me a sheep like the shepherd did. Playing with my heart like the rest.